Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this winter day, this winter evening. We're very glad that you've joined us, and we are excited to have you here. This is Mainline Executive Coaching ACT. It is about how we can help you develop as an executive leader into the best possible leader. Really, when you really get down to it, it's really helping you to get on the right path, to get on that place of getting to that place, not only today, tomorrow, and for years to come, to become your best self as an executive leader. And ACT and cultural training. We got to take action as leaders. And in that process, we help our culture get better. And we're going to talk about a great topic tonight that is exactly about how you can help transform your culture. That's what we do here. So, Rich Barron, I'm here with my partner tonight. I'm Maikel Bailey. Good to have you here. As I said, we're going to be talking about today about how people express regret, or how they say, I made a mistake and I'm sorry. And how's that done, and how we can get confused, and how we can miss the signals, the behaviors that say that, simply because we just don't see it that way. So, Rich, you've had a lot of experience working with people, and people have made mistakes, and people have said, I'm sorry, or they've done something to express their regret about that. Talk to us a little bit more about what that's all about from your experience.
Well, forgiveness, I got to say this, for the skill of forgiveness is a very bold leadership skill. But it's also, on the other hand, one of the soft skills that we talk about: compassion, empathy, acknowledging that we're all flawed. Those are the soft skills that is so important as a leader. But on the other hand, it's a very bold thing as a leader to be able to forgive and to seek forgiveness. And so one of the most important things to realize is that as a leader, we work with people. We're all flawed. We're all going to have those bad days. We're all going to have those days when there's, a lot of tensions, or, things may be going wrong outside of work or whatever. And things are going to get said. And it's the ability to forgive that, or on the other hand, to seek that forgiveness, which is an essential attribute of leadership.
Yeah, it is. It really is a skill. We all have our different ways of saying, I'm sorry, and we're going to talk about those here in just a minute. And sometimes, if you ever had somebody that you said, look, I'm really sorry about this, and kind of, please forgive me, and they won't. What do you want from me? Yeah. Supposed to bleed here, cut myself, bleed out. What does he want? And they're just adamant they're not going to forgive you. Yeah. Sometimes they're taciturn about it. Sometimes, they're kind of that way, just they're just aggressive about it. But man, if you are running an organization at some level, you got to learn how to recognize those cues and those behaviors. So let's start talking about them. I'm going to give them to the folks here right now, and then let's go through and talk about them one-on-one, or one at a time rather. This is from a book called When Sorry Isn't Enough. When Sorry Isn't Enough. It's by Gary Chapman and Jennifer Thomas. This is that same place that talks about the five love languages. A lot of great stuff there, a lot of great EQ relationship stuff. First one here is expressing regret. Some people express regret. That's how they do it. Other people accept responsibility.
Yes.
Other people make restitution. Well, let me make it up to you. Others genuinely repent. In other words, they really change. They do, okay? And then request forgiveness. So those are the five. Let's just delve into them a little bit, and then let's talk about how we can create this, how this cognitive dissonance can happen in your relationship as a leader with an individual, or individuals in your organization, simply because you're not on the same wavelength. So about expressing regret, how would we know if someone was expressing regret?
I think there would be a lot of clues there. It could be verbal clues, physical clues. They're, really coming. They've humbled themselves. They're showing a lot of humility. And, it takes a lot of courage in a lot of ways to ask for forgiveness. It really does, especially if you've really wronged somebody. And it may or may not have been purposeful, but, regardless, it's sometimes it takes that swallowing your pride and recognizing what you have done, and then for seeking out that forgiveness.
Yeah, there is in all of these that we'll be talking about. Nicely said, Rich, nicely said. There is about in all of these an element of transparency. I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day, and I was going, I'm going to be transparent here. That's the way to say it. Some of these words, I don't even know what they mean. I don't. I mean, being sensitive, being transparent. Some of these words, I don't know what they mean. I mean, I know what they're supposed to mean, but I don't know what they really mean. This is an example because I have different lexicon. That's what that is. I have different reference point, right? So all of these, we could say these are different ways people are attempting to show transparency. So expressing regret is really this, I'm really sorry. I feel bad about it. I really, really do. So that's kind of thing that you were talking about, this sense of humility, seen in their body language, their voice, their tone of voice. So you can see that. How about accept responsibility? How do we recognize someone who's accepting responsibility?
I think that's probably a fairly easy thing to see. If someone is truly repentant, if you will, if you use that word, and humble, and really trying to accept responsibility, you're going to see them going the extra mile to try to change the situation. They don't want the situation to stay stagnant or the same. They want to change that. And so you're going to see a lot of individuals, if they're truly wanting to accept responsibility, trying to correct that situation.
So this idea of one of the things I think we'd see along with that is they aren't blaming anyone else.
Right. Yeah.
We're just talking about a CEO that has got his company in a horrible mess right now and doing a little bit of it, talking and interviewing with it. He's not taking any responsibility at all. It's everybody else's fault. Kind of strange.
No, and we know the people that are taking the brunt of that lack of responsibility, and it's sad. We're seeing careers potentially being ruined.
It's very true. Very true. How about restitution? What would we see in a person's behavior whose forgiving language is making restitution?
I would say in a lot of ways, when you talk about restitution, from a legal standpoint, that's paying a fine or whatever. But I think from an individual standpoint, that would be something that's going to take time. Something that's going to take time and showing over time that, that situation's been corrected, that they're not going backwards into, to repeat that offense, if you will.
Right. And it's kind of the attitude of what can I do?
Yes.
What can I do to make it up to you? I said this or I did this or some damage involved. What can I now do to make it up so that we can, I'm saying this, I'm doing this, and so that you can see that I am serious about this, and so that we can just get it behind us. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see somebody says, what can I do for you about that? How about genuinely repent?
That's, again, that goes back to the restitution thing, being truly humble, being seeking that forgiveness, but also forgiving others.
And in there's this sense, I think, of you will see change.
Yes.
Whatever it was that was causing that damage, that was causing that rift, that was causing whatever it is that's the problem out there, they stop it.
Yeah.
Genuine repentance is I'm stopping this and I'm starting to do this now instead. And so in that 180 that they make, you can see this is a person who's genuinely repenting. That's the key there, the 180. How about request forgiveness?
That's something we all need to work on. Requesting forgiveness. If we know that we've wronged somebody, going to them and requesting forgiveness. That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, they all do.
And they all takes a lot of courage. And here's the thing, Maikel, if we're talking about this from an organizational standpoint, and you have a leader, we all know these people. We all worked with someone like this. This simply will not forgive. They carry a grudge forever. One mistake, and that mistake is yours forever. You own that. They're going to make sure you own that forever. you can't go to them and seek guidance or forgiveness. And at the same token, they're not going to be giving it. And so those are that's a difficult standpoint. If you've got an organization that's like that, and an organizational leader that's like that, you've now taken one of those really important wheels in the machine of leadership skills and taken it out, and it's simply not going to run the same way. All these leadership skills we talk about are wills to make that leadership machine work better, if you will, if you want to look at it like that. But if you take one of those wheels out of the machine, those cogs out of the machine, or you somehow break it, it's, even though the other parts of the machine may run okay, it's not going to run as well as it could with all those functioning skills.
Absolutely. Because again, it's all about the relationship. It's about building the trust, about working together, learning how to work together in more efficient and effective ways. So one of the things we want to discuss here is this, that there are these like 5 channels of expressing regret.
Yes.
5 channels. And probably each of us has 1 or 2 out of them that we prefer. That's kind of our main channels of expressing regret, sorrow, all that kind of stuff. So if I have, let's say, 1 channel and my boss has a different channel, let's say I'm way up here and he's or she is way down here. For instance, if I accept responsibility. Okay, let's just kind of play this out. I say I accept responsibility. It's nobody else's fault but mine, and I'm going to take care of this. It's mine. I'm not going to blame anybody else. And yet my bosses may be kind of like, well, okay, did you ask me to forgive you? Here we go. Well, I'm taking responsibility for it. Yeah, but I didn't hear you say you wanted me to say that you're sorry and that I'm going to forgive you. But I'm doing something about it. Well, until you actually ask for forgiveness, I don't believe you. Can you see that?
Right. Yep.
Pick a couple from this and say, okay, kind of present to us. Give us another one that there's this one, and then there's the employee, and then or us, and then there's the boss, where there could be this conflict, this sense of disconnect. Play that out. Can you do that?
What sense do you mean? Give me a scenario.
Somebody expresses regret. Okay. But the boss is make restitution. Say, well, I'm really sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. I wish I had done that. I wish I had said that. And I feel terrible about that. I really, really feel bad. And I mean that. I really feel bad. And the boss then says, okay, well, what are you going to do about it?
Okay.
I said I was sorry and I feel bad. I feel bad. Okay, so what? You just say you're feeling sorry, but I don't know until you do something about it.
Right. And that is the thing that comes over time. That's showing that restitution. Showing that restitution. And if people like this, if they don't take you at your word, and you need to show, they need to see something more from you. See something more from you in order to believe what you're saying. That could be a difficult road to hoe, because you may never, ever come back up to their standards. You may never reach that standard again. And there are those who honestly see asking forgiveness or seeking forgiveness or forgiving others as a weakness. As a weakness, or these flaws that we all have as a weakness, that you're no longer the guy that I need in that position, or the gal I need in that position.
Yeah, there are those people that will really take it and use it against you as a real cudgel.
Yes.
Those people are just, they're just not going to forgive. And yet what we want to be able to say is, what is it that you need to see? What is it you need to hear from an individual? It's just like that love language is. Some people are like affirmations. If I don't hear you say, I love you, I care about you, I think you're wonderful, if I don't hear those affirmations, my brain isn't getting it. Even though you're saying, look, what I like to do is spend time with each, together. That's what I enjoy really doing a lot. Okay, but I'm here, but I'm not hearing, I'm not hearing, I love you. Can you help me out? Because my love channel is affirmations. Yours is time together. So there's this missing quality. How about this one? Somebody who genuinely repents, says they've stopped doing this. Now they've turned it around. And then the boss says, okay, so you've done that, but I didn't ever hear you say that you were really sorry about it. You just changed it. I don't think you've really been responsible and said you're really sorry. You just changed it and I'm just supposed to forget it now. What about that dilemma?
That's control. That's someone who's trying to control the entire situation, and no matter what, they're going to make you pay for it. They're going to make you pay for it. You either got to, down on your knees and repent type thing and kowtow to me because I have the title. Or, they're the ones that, regardless of how hard you tried, instead of recognizing as a leader the ability for this person to recognize their own self faults and come to you with that ability to say, hey, I made a mistake and I'm very sorry and I'm going to make amends, versus this person screwed up. They're never going to advance in this company. They're never going to be a leader. They're never going to be anybody I'm going to recognize, versus, that other thing where you've now recognized that this person has those soft skills that are truly important to being a leader, those leadership attributes of empathy, courage, humility. It can go, that's something to really look out for.
So there's two approaches about this for leaders. Message for leaders here. Two approaches. One, to be that person that recognizes how different people show regret. Actually be very cognizant of it. Know what these 5 are, know how to recognize those, so that when they come, even though you may be playing on 1 or 2 other channels, you see them playing on another channel, and the one that you're looking for, you can validate them and say, okay, I get it. I see that's the way you are. I kind of like this, but nevertheless, I'm going to appreciate your individuality. That's what I'm going to do. And so let's put it behind us. Let's do what we need to do to fix things up, and we'll move on. The other way is this. The other side of that for leaders, again, is this. Is if you have that ability to recognize how people work in terms of showing the regret, and you make a mistake, knowing how to deliver that message of regret on the channel that they will receive is a big relationship builder. Let's say you're the person that says, look, I'm going to make restitution here. We had some problems here. We had some mix-ups, so I'm going to make some restitution. And so you do make the restitution, but you've got some people out there in your group that says, yeah, but I didn't hear him or her say, I'm sorry. I mean, it screwed things up for me. It's fine that you're making risk, but I don't really hear that. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Or I didn't hear you say, would you please forgive me? And the leader's going, but I'm making it up to you. Yeah. See, the wise leader is going to know all those different channels. And they'll know specifically for each other individual, each of their employees, how to deliver the message, because it's in being able to receive that sense of remorse from those individuals that they build and receive and accept. They build that relationship with that individual, and also how to express it to that individual that, again, they now accept it. None of us are perfect.
No.
If there's one thing that we can do is learn how to work with each other in a way that forgives and then builds and makes the team stronger. There's that funny thing, chain is only as strong as its weakest link, right? Heard that how many times?
Absolutely.
Well, how about this? The team is only as strong as its ability to recognize the weakest link and then reforge that link into a stronger link.
Yes.
So the team is stronger.
And that brings me to a point, Maikel. For the most part, people aren't malicious. They're not going to go out there to truly try to hurt somebody or destroy a process. However, there are those who will do that for personal gain, or just simply because they're just, not nice about things. The important part about this is you need to be able to recognize who those people are and that pattern, to see that pattern emerge and make that change. If they're not willing to work with you, if they're not willing to listen, not willing to be part of the team, you need to make that change. And if that means, replacing that individual or, parting ways in order to save the whole of the team, it's about reforging that link. Now, we talked to someone recently about that. She changed the dynamic of her whole team because she got rid of the bad element.
Yeah, the bad apples.
Yeah.
She reduced her staff by half, and yet they doubled in what it is they produced.
Yep. And that's important to be able to recognize that pattern of these individuals, because they are out there. They will destroy, the dynamics of what you're trying to create.
Sometimes they can be closer than you realize. All right. Yep. Well, so let's take this home. Rach, if somebody wants to get into this conversation with us, what is it? What is it they do to get hold of us?
That's easy. Executive Leaders Act, ILEC.com. You can get all of our contact information there. You can reach out. You can get our phone numbers. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us there. Reach out, talk to one of us, and let's have a candid discussion. If you want to talk about some of this, or Maikel, like we had some of these great coaches from Australia and Bali who joined us recently. If you want to be on an episode, let us know. You got something you want to talk about? We love guests.
Right. Let's give a shout out tonight to Prineville, Oregon.
Prineville, Oregon.
There's a couple of people out there maybe that are just paying attention to what it is we're doing here. So thanks, Prineville.
The great Northwest, the land of plaid and coffee.
There you go. And seeing notice.
That's right. You're part of the great Northwest tonight.
All right, folks. All the best. Do we got it? Anything else you want to leave them with?
Just, shout out to Prineville, Oregon. And I was going to do one more shout out to some folks in Norway. We've been getting some listeners from Norway, been paying attention to what we're saying. And thank you very much.
Excellent. All right, folks. All the best. Have a great week.